What's up guys, Dylon here. I am very excited to show you and bring you guys the Nuzlocke, the Pokemon X Nuzlocke. Woo, yay, finally got the capture card, finally did all that stuff. Okay, so, like 3 quick things to explain before we get into the rules. Number 1, these are streams that are being condensed. They're at better quality than the Skyrim videos, but I was trying to make them entertaining for the people watching. I'm answering questions, telling stupid jokes, and I'm going to try to cut that stuff out. I know. So some people might be interested in that, but I want to keep it as Pokemon-oriented as possible. It's going to be all of the progression that I do. So, like when I catch a Pokemon, when a Pokemon dies, when I beat a gym leader, an important trainer battle, what have you, it's going to be the good stuff. And on the topic of streaming, the audio might be a little weird. I think the first few episodes, like, the game audio is a little bit too low. Like, you can still hear it, but it's just not the best. And I'm sorry about that. Hopefully later on it's better. I could do some things with it, try to play with it, see what works the best, but we'll see in the future. And last thing on the topic of streams is the video. It gets a little bit cut off. Just because the way I had it set up during the first few streams, but it should be good for the streams after this recording. The borders are a little bit cut off. I stretch it just so, because the top screen and the bottom screen were overlapping each other, and I fixed that. So they're going to be a little bit stretched. You barely notice it. It's just like the outer borders of the video will be a little bit cut off, but you wouldn't even notice if I didn't say it, but I'm stupid and wanted to explain to everyone just in case, so nobody complained and was upset. Okay, so now that I've explained the dumb stream things, it's time for rules. First off, the Nuzlocke is essentially Pokemon hard mode. That's how I like to explain it to people, because that's what it is. The guy who made it started it because he was playing Pokemon Ruby and was like, this isn't that much of a challenge, let's make me care. And then he did it. He put 3 rules in place, or 4, I guess. It makes it a completely different game. It's awesome. So, now let's go through the rules. Rule number 1. If a Pokemon faints, it dies. It needs to be either released, which some people like to do, but I like to put it into a box marked graveyard, because then I can look back on my mistakes and be sad. Rule number 2. You can only catch the first Pokemon on any new route or area. This means caves, forests, anything with a different name that shows up on the top left, that is a new area. Floors in buildings, like power plant or whatever, or caves, those don't count. Well, if you want them to count, you're going to get a few extra of the same Pokemon, but you know what you're getting into. As long as you follow your same rules, then, or every time, and don't break them and flip them around, then that's good enough. But the duplicates clause states that if you've already caught that Pokemon, like you're encountering the same Pokemon twice on different areas, then you can't catch it again. And doesn't count as the first Pokemon you encounter, and it's skipped as many times as it takes to encounter a new Pokemon. So you encounter a Zubat in one cave, you catch that Zubat, then you go to another cave, and the first Pokemon you find is a Zubat. You can skip it until you get the Geodude or whatever it takes to not be a Zubat. Rule number 3, if you lose all party Pokemon, it's game over. This means you white out, you lose everything on your team, then you're done. You can, if you make it out with 1 Pokemon alive still, you can go to the box, if you have extra Pokemon, fill your team back up, and you're good to go. But if you lose all your Pokemon, you can't go back to the box, it's just, you're done. This is I guess an optional rule, it just helps, it's more of like a vanity thing. Rule number 4, you must nickname all of your Pokemon. It helps promote a stronger bond, because you're the one that decided their name, or in my case, the stream helped decide the names. And it helps bring some character and life to these little pixel things, right? Alright, and now these are the rules that are X and Y specific that I thought of, or they are just random things that I thought of. So, the first one is the weird one, Evolution Revival. So, if a Pokemon evolves after fainting, normally in a trainer battle, that's the only time it would really happen, as long as it's a result of the battle it died in, the evolution I mean, it's brought back. So, the example that I have, this only happened to me once or twice, I was fighting a Plasma Grunt with a Woobat, and it beat its first Pokemon, then died on the second, and I was fucking heartbroken. It was a great Pokemon. And after the battle, it evolved. So I was like, awesome! I don't think this is ever going to happen again. Why don't we count that as not a mulligan, but a rule? So then I started putting that in place, and it hasn't happened since, but it's still awesome. Like, I really think that's a cool, like, comeback, if that ever does happen. And hopefully it does this time, because I think that would be interesting. Because it's like, what, a 10% chance to come back? and only once per Pokemon or twice for some of them. Rule number 6, battle style is set. So the difference between switch and set is during a trainer battle, switch means that you will be prompted when you defeat a Pokemon of a trainer, and it'll tell you, hey, they're going to send out Ekans. What do you want to use, or what do you want to switch to, or do you want to switch Pokemon? With set, it doesn't tell you. You have to make the decision after the Pokemon's already out, if you want to keep your Pokemon in or switch it out. I like this a lot better. It presents a bigger challenge, because you have to waste a turn switching them in or out. Rule number 7, no XP share. That shit is broken in X and Y. So we're not going to do that. I think I have it on for one battle, and I'm like, oh shit, and then I turn it off as soon as it's done. So, no significant advantage. I know it would help with grinding off camera, but I still don't like it. It's just, not ruined, but it made my first playthrough of X and Y, like, it watered it down, definitely. Like, I could have had a better experience with it. Rule number 8, no breeding, because that just counts as getting a Pokemon from an egg. So, and eggs aren't roots, are they? So, you know. Rule number 9, no super training, because it's great for competitive, it's great for your own team, but it kind of makes them twice or thrice as good as they would originally be. So, maybe twice, because you're still getting EVs as you're going. Oh, I forgot, I didn't have this rule written down, but I guess rule number 10, even though it's less of a rule, actually. I don't like to heal in battle, because I know a lot of people share this philosophy. It's just, it doesn't feel like a real victory if you just heal them the whole time. Switching between your Pokemon just feels a lot better, and it's a little bit more dangerous, but I think I'll only heal if it's my last Pokemon or something like that. Like, I don't want to put a set rule on it, because I don't want to be held responsible for this recording. It's more of a lenient thing, but I'm going to try my best not to, unless it's an absolute emergency. Healing after battle, perfectly fine. Also, held items are fine. If you want to give your Pokemon a berry or something to heal in battle, that's fine. Like, if it's a hold item. Alright, so I hope you guys are ready for the amazing intro I made. It's not that amazing, it took me a million hours, but who's counting? It's very standard. But, alright guys, Pokemon X Nuzlocke, I hope you enjoy. Goodbye. Or hello in a minute, whatever. Intro start!